I will continue with the methods of data collection as we have discussed so far, around 4 or 5. So we go to this method called the questionnaire method. That method called the questionnaire method, by definition it is defined as a data collection method that involves written questions that are sent to the respondent, who answers them then sends them back to the learner. In this case, learners write down the questions and that those questions are handed in or given to another person. That person to whom the question goes is called the respondent, and then the respondent answers them. Then after answering them, he sends them back to the learner. It is different from interview, because with interview we said it is a face-to-face interaction, but with this questionnaire method you need to write questions. Then after writing questions, you send them. The one takes his time, 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, or 30 minutes, or whatsoever. He answers them and later on sends them back to the learner. So you will say that this method of data collection involves written questions that are sent to the respondent who answers them and sends them back to the learner, whom we are calling the researcher. So similarly, when it is a question, when it is the other question, you will go back to the method, you define the method, you tell the examiner that the method of data collection that involves written questions that are sent and sent to the respondent who answers them, then sends them back to the researcher. Then from there you will tell the examiner, while I was in Butiaba, I used this method, or I used the questions, I wrote questions that were handed to Mr. Tom, who is a respondent, then answered them and sent them back to the researcher. So that is it. It also has some disadvantages and advantages. One of the disadvantages is biasness, of course, that's a disadvantage. The researcher may not get correct information because the respondent was biased on the questions. And also it has a disadvantage of language barrier. The person may not understand the language. It is bound to time. You may give questions to somebody and somebody takes years without answering them. So they are subject to a number of disadvantages. However, one of the disadvantages we cannot fail to talk about is that the respondent is given enough time to give you correct information. It is not always, the method is not always putting the respondent on pressure. So he has enough time to carry out research and give you correct information. And two, since he doesn't see you, sometimes the respondent may not gives you correct information because he doesn't know the person he's dealing with, so there is no need to conceal some information. That is our questionnaire method. So let me also talk about another method which is called the sampling method. Sampling method. That is a method of data collection that involves the use of one or a few items to represent the rest. In this case, the learners use one or a few items to represent the rest of the features in the area of study. I'm going to give you a scenario where if you go to maybe a learning site, you use one respondent. The respondent you have used represents the rest of the people in the area of study, and that is your sample. You may use one fish species to represent the rest of the fish species in the area of study. Similarly, when you choose out, maybe you choose out and say, I'm going to this learning site, I'm going to this town, I'm going to this market, you have represented the whole. So sampling method is a method of data collection in which learners use one or a few items to represent the rest. They use one or a few geographical items to represent the rest. What one chooses out becomes a sample. One chooses out one fish learning site, it becomes a sample to know that there are so many other learning sites on that lake. So it becomes a sample. Then the other one we can talk about is map orientation method. With map orientation method is not a very common method used by learners. However, it is also one of the methods that are used in the field work. What you should note that under orientation method, somebody uses a map of a place already drawn, uses it to locate the place where he is. He uses a map of a place that already has been drawn. Then when going to the field work, he goes with it. He locates places based on the already map he has been using. That one is said to be map orientation. It's not common because rarely do people move with maps, and so it becomes not highly used. But however, it is also another method, as we have said. In this case, method of data collection in which a map of a place already drawn is used to locate where and what is studied. So that is map orientation. So there are very many other things you can ask, you can know. You can use the information as I've been giving it to you to define, give methods, give advantages, disadvantages of each of these methods. If there is any other method that I have not talked about, maybe I will give it to you in another lesson. But so far, those are the things we are doing. So don't forget where we started from. We started from the topic. From the topic, we gave out a correct topic of study. We went to the methods, piloting methods, etc. So what we are covering so far, or what we have covered so far, is termed as the pre-field preparations. And the above things, or those are the things that we usually conduct or carry when we are preparing for field work. So in any case, if the question is asking for the preparations you made, you will use that illustration as I've given it to you, the PITOM method, which talks about pilot, topic, objectives, and methods. Anything out of this is not correct, so we use that formula to locate. Methods, we have covered them correctly very well. They are around 7 or 8, and I believe you have clearly picked that. So the next stage we shall go to, the next stage we have to go to is fieldwork excursion. Fieldwork excursion. So I'll start from there.